So is this what you're looking for, or?
Well, so when you reached out, you had mentioned that you was trying to create a particular
Hmm.
script, and you was having some trouble.
Yep.
And so I wanted to see what that script was supposed to do. And then I also wanted to see what trouble you ran into while you was trying to add the script.
Okay.
Now, if you don't,
Let's see if it's in this one. Yep, this is one of them. See,
Oh. Mhm.
so they are getting better on that knowledge base because I asked it to find.
yeah, but here
It's getting better.
let me just say something to this though. Let me say
Hmm.
something to this. When you do it this way,
Hmm.
okay, at least for now, when you so okay, let me see something.
Hmm.
Right now you are in healthcare ethics game design project, right? No, you're not in a project right now. You're just in a
Mm-mm.
normal chat.
Yeah. Hmm. Chat
Okay,
GPT. Yep.
perfect.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. And you're relying on ChatGPT's internal memory of your past conversations.
Hmm. Yep.
When you do that, now it has gotten better. I mean, as you know, that this is a new feature that you can
Yeah.
even do this.
Hmm.
What I'm going to say to you is that it's a helpful, but I would not rely on it as 100% accuracy
Hmm. Hmm.
because it's not a query to the database, for example. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's not fetching that. It's not fetching it in that way, but it does have a memory and you can use it in that way. But what you would want to do is if you just organize your conversations and like for example,
Hmm.
you just ask ChatGPT for that whole script and you don't know whether or not that script is accurate
Oh,
line by
definitely not.
line.
Yep. Do not know.
You have no clue. You see what I'm
It's a whole
saying?
bunch of them.
It's
Yeah, I'm just asking it. I was hoping it was gonna give me all of them, but it's just giving me one by one, I
and
guess.
that's another thing is right.
The
So
hallucination I had. We talked about
look, if you
last
want
week. The
if you want
conversation.
if you wanted to find a past script, the best way to do it would be to
Hmm.
hit the search button over there. So if you hit your search icon and then inside of here, just start typing words related to that script that you had it right. So just like anything that's related to it.
See, that's the one yesterday. Okay.
Okay, you see it, but
Uh
you
huh.
see how it found it. That's all you.
Yes.
But now what you're going to do in this case is you're actually going to that script
Yes.
instead
Okay.
of asking it to remember the
Hmm.
script. Like maybe it
Mm.
remembers it accurately,
Hmm.
maybe it doesn't. Like I don't
Okay.
know. But like when you do it this way, you at least you go back to that script instead of and the longer the script is, like maybe ChatGPT won't even generate the whole thing again, especially
Mhm.
if you running low on tokens.
Mm.
if
You
you're
won't talk about that.
if you running low on tokens, it won't even generate the
We
whole
would
script.
not talk about that.
And then
Right.
plus on top of that, Wendy, you're literally
Hey.
using your tokens. This is probably why if you know what, I just realized this.
Hmm.
You may not need so many accounts if you would just optimize your usage. Like
I believe. Yep.
you're using tokens for it to remember things
Hmm.
when you could be using a search tool to just go pull up what you was looking for. And then you don't have to use tokens, your usage, in order to go find the thing you want to access.
Got you. Yep.
And
I agree.
oh my gosh, that's like
Epiphany for me.
you're burning through tokens in all kind of ways by doing it that way because also your chat is getting longer
Hmm.
as you do it. So you went and asked for something, it went and got it, and it's long.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm. Yep.
just Wendy, please use that search tool next time.
Yeah, I will for these.
You gotta, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go though. So we've got your script. Now, can let me see your prompt. What did you ask ChatGPT to build you? Let me see. What did you ask for? Nike.
Get out of this.
Question, brother.
Mine is more of a longer question. It don't have nothing to do with this. I was going to ask you
Uh,
something else. So go ahead and finish up, Wendy. Yeah, appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank
All
you.
right, bet.
Where
Okay,
I
well
started from.
I'll remember to get. You don't have to leave your hand up. I'll remember to get to you if you want to, because she's
Okay.
in fact, like if you want, because she's actually probably going to be about at least 30 minutes or so, because we
This
got
what
to
I
help
did
her resolve.
initially.
But if you want to ask now before we get started on this one, I can
Yeah.
maybe I can answer it.
Mine was an AI question as far as having the images look more realistic to me. I've been having challenge getting the images look like me on my design, and I've been using chat. Of course, that chat ain't gonna do that. Chat GPT, but I've been using Flux, and it's supposed to do but it messes up everything else. It looked like me, but it messed everything else up. So I
Mm,
was just trying to figure out how to make it so it looked good both ways, the
yeah.
actual design and it looked like me.
That's a perfect design for, I mean, question for Friday. AI for
Ah,
humans. Yep,
okay,
that's
okay,
AI for humans
okay.
workshop. Yes, yep,
All
yes,
right.
sir. But yeah, definitely, we got you on that. We'll mess with Flux, and then also, I think that ChatGTP can give you a pretty realistic looking image, but we can go through some prompts and do some comparisons and stuff. All right.
Yeah, maybe I just ain't doing it right. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll explore, man. Figure it out. Get you together.
appreciate it.
No worries. All right, let's see what you got here, Wendy. I want to create a TypeScript from a Horizon World named Healthcare Ethics Room, where people will come into the room, sit at the table, and select the healthcare. Okay, now the first thing I'm gonna say
Hmm.
is that this is exactly what a use case for projects. Okay, because right now you're asking ChatGTP to create something for you for Horizon Worlds. And honestly, ChatGTP really don't really know that much about Horizon Worlds.
Hmm.
It only knows a little bit. It's getting to know a little bit more since Meta has been opening up some things, with their code base online and some other stuff. So it's starting to get some context, but still, in comparison to like a React app or a PHP project or like something, it almost knows nothing about Horizon.
Hmm.
So this right here is exactly why a use case where you would want to use projects. So the first thing I want to do is let's organize this. Let's take this. Can you copy that and put it on like a text pad or a notepad or something? So we're gonna copy your prompt. You could just hit the copy button right there. You see how it's
Oh,
got a copy button, but that's fine. You can use that, and then just put it on a notepad because we're gonna come back to it and we're gonna use it. We might tweak it a little bit before we actually submit it.
I have stuff
That's
on there
fine.
too.
Yep, just hit the plus button. That's how mine look. Mine
Okay.
look, yep, just like that. You doing it right. Yeah, and then just minimize that, and then I want you to uh
Oops.
go back to ChatGTP, and then on projects, go ahead and create a new project. So just and then hit the plus button, yeah, and let's just call this Horizon Worlds uh healthcare project, or just health Horizon Worlds healthcare project. Yeah, that'll be fine. Or Horizon Worlds healthcare or something. You can always rename it if you want. All right. Yep. Create project. All right. So now, when it comes to the files,
Hmm.
the first files that we're going to add is the Horizon Worlds APIs. You're probably going to want to create a UE, a user interface. So we're going to
Hmm.
add that API, the Horizon Worlds core, and then like maybe even the agents API if you're going to use it. So we're going to start off with at least just adding those.
Hmm.
So before you do that, can you open up your Windsurf?
Get my hands together.
Them fingers.
Yeah, they not positioned right. My hands.
There
There it is.
you go.
It's gonna be a hot mess. It opens up.
Does anyone remember who had brought up Replit?
Mm-mm.
Someone had brought up Replit in here, and it was like a couple of months ago, and I hadn't used it before. But I've been messing around with it here past couple of days, and it's actually pretty cool too. And it's not, in my opinion, a competitor with Windsurf, and that's what
Hmm.
the person was asking. It was somebody that was new, I think. But they was asking about like, is Windsurf and Replit the same thing? But yeah, I couldn't really answer it that well because I hadn't used it at that point. But I've been messing around with it the past few days. But yeah, okay. So here we go. You've got,
This the mess I was telling you about.
man, you've got a lot of red going on in here. Okay.
Yes.
So what is all of this? Like, so are these all just scripts that you've been just creating and trying?
Trying
Do you
to
mind if
create,
we
yes.
clean these up? Okay, so look, open up her. You also need your Horizon Worlds open. So go ahead and open up
Okay.
the world. I think you already opened it. That was
Yeah, I
what you was
gotta
doing when
get
we
to
came
it.
in. You can hit Control Tab and just switch around with your keyboard if you
Nope, that's not
well
working.
hit Command Tab, CMD tab.
Are you
I don't
Mac?
have a Mac.
Do you have a Mac
Oh,
screen
tab.
or?
I don't have a
Alt
Windows.
Tab,
Alt
yeah.
tab. Alt tab.
Alt Tab, yeah. Hit
Thank you.
Alt Tab.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is.
Or you can hit F11 to get out of full screen.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's another thing. She in full screen mode. There
Okay,
she
here
go.
we go.
Okay, okay, so hit scripts. Let's just delete all those scripts. We
Thank
don't need
you.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
so yeah, just hit and then hit delete, and just do that for all of them, because none of these scripts are useful, right?
that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I
Except for that,
figured.
maybe a grab one. That's probably it.
And that's the one but just don't
Mhm.
delete the grab one then, because that's the one you got from Biggie Paul's, I think, or somebody. You got it from somebody.
Yeah, it's
here.
one we did last week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you can
okay.
keep that one in there if you want to keep it in there.
Probably be easier just to delete them from Windsurf. You don't have to go one by one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
true. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, only reason I wasn't gonna have her do that was in case there was anything in there she wanted to keep it. But yeah, she can go ahead and do
Well,
it
she's
that way. But
deleting them
yeah,
from here.
she's
They're
deleting
deleting
them.
them.
Yeah,
They're deleting them from
from there
the
too.
folder.
Yeah, yeah. I just, like I said, I didn't want her selecting like a system or
Oh
Just
yeah,
gonna-
sure.
type file or something like that. But yeah, she can. And then that's another thing I didn't
Yeah,
realize it'd be
real
so
slow.
many.
Oh yeah,
But
I
yeah,
told you I was
you
busy.
can do it. But yeah, you can do it. Let's go ahead and go back over to Windsurf and just select everything that's you can confirm on that one since it's over.
Oh, well.
But yeah, just ethics game loader. But don't select package-log.json. See, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, ethics game loader. You can hold control down and select each one. Game loader.ts, and then launch ethics game,
Main.ts.
Oh,
main.ts.
this one too. Okay.
Yeah, scenario data. What is that? Setup ethics game.js.
Yeah.
How you even get that in there?
They put it in there by accident. Because I said
Okay.
it's supposed to be TypeScript, and then it did it over.
Yeah, but that's because it's doing like just
Thinks you're making a
general
website.
Yeah, it's making a website
Mhm.
general type. But continue. So simple ethics game, and then don't hit TSK. But what's that UA? Yeah, that UA. Yeah. And now delete all those. Move to
I
recycle
gotta
bin.
clean
Yeah.
all that up now.
All right. Now we're a little bit better off. Can
So
you
why
close those
these are here?
tabs? Yeah, because they just tab. You can
Okay.
just close them. Close
thought
them.
we
They're
delete
empty
them
now.
too.
Close them. Yeah, close them. All right. Much better now. Whew, I hate seeing all that red. It gives me like it does, man. It does something to me.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. It made me feel like I had a lot of work to do. but hit that types folder arrow right there. The arrow where it say types at. Mm-hmm.
Down.
We see.
To the
It's
left.
in the list, right? Types right below there.
Type. Oh, this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The little arrow.
Hit that
yeah.
arrow. And now right click on top of horizon_core.ts.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then select reveal in file explorer. You hit the wrong button. No, you didn't. Okay, perfect. Now stay right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to ChatGPT, but we're gonna keep that folder open because we're gonna use that folder to drop files into ChatGPT projects.
A lot of those errors were probably because she didn't have the UI.
Turned on.
API in
Yep. That's another thing she got to do. We got to go back and turn that UI on. All right. So now hit where it says add files. All right. So now open that folder up that just popped open. It's right there. Just click your folder right there at the bottom.
No.
No.
On
We
the
just gonna
bottom,
drag and drop.
bottom left,
Yep, bottom left, the yellow folder.
right there.
Yep. Open that up. And so you hold your control down, and so you already got core selected. So next we want to select. We don't even have UI in here.
Do
So just
avatar.
yeah,
you
you
need
can
the
do.
avatar agent.
Yeah, you can do select avatar agent also, and just drag and drop those over in project files, and then we're gonna go back into Horizon Worlds.
Greetings.
Greetings,
Hey,
Lena.
Lena.
Welcome.
Hey, Lena.
Hey, Lena. Hey.
All right.
And just hit the X on that. Yeah. All right. Now hit the no. We're going back to scripts. Hit the gear wheel. And then go to API. And then turn on Horizon UI. Yep. All right, yep. And then hit apply. Go back to ChatGPT. Open up the folder. Look for UI and drag and drop it over there.
Horizon UI. Yep.
And now go ahead and hit the X because you got those files in there now. So now ChatGPT has 3 files. Now, before we do anything else in ChatGPT, let's go back over into Windsurf just so you can lay eyes on what you just did. Go ahead and click horizon_core.d.ts, that file, yeah. So this file right here has all the TypeScript definitions in it. And Biggie Pauls, do you want to explain this file and
I
those
can
files
do
a
that.
little bit?
Yeah. So basically, this is your Horizon Core API. So what this has is your all the types that are available to use when you're scripting in TypeScript. So everything from like player entering a trigger to when a player grabs an item to when an NPC gets up and moves somewhere. All those that one actually is in another API, but everything that is to the core of Horizon Worlds that you would do like in a world, right? So anything like changing the text on a text gizmo, playing a sound gizmo to play a sound effect. Any of those actions are actually scripted in this file. So what you did is you just fed that whole file into ChatGPT as context. And we always talk about when we're using AI, you want to give it the most amount of context, but also the most valuable context. You can't get more context than this. This is exactly what it needs in order for it to say, okay, now I'm going to give you this TypeScript. Now, when it runs your prompt through ChatGPT, it's going to use these files as the reference, not go search on the internet for it.
Right.
It's going to say, hey, I have information here. Let me go look to see if I can find what I'm looking for. And it's going to use this. Now it's going to get you closer to what you're looking at instead of just throwing a prompt out saying, hey, I'm making a Horizon world. Give me TypeScript for it. Now you're saying, I'm providing you with all the types. I'm providing you with the information. Now use that to create something for me.
Yeah, this is literally Horizon World's definitions on how you can write, how you're even allowed to write the TypeScript.
Like if you go to that grab TypeScript file.
And in fact, when you open, I want you to drop that into your project files as well, because that grab file, you can give that to ChatGPT as well as
so. But if you look at that, look at the first statement on line 1 is import star. That's the asterisk is a star. That means it's a wild card, right? You know, a wild card when you're playing cards can mean anything. That's what that means. That means import everything from as the give it a prefix HZ from Horizon/core. That means it's importing every single type from that file that we just had open that you just put into ChatGPT. So what happens is now we know how to where to look for information. So now when you drop this file into ChatGPT, if you right click on that file, you can do reveal in File Explorer. And it'll pull up a folder. There you go. So now you can go back to ChatGPT
and give that to it.
Yep, there you go. And then go to
Click
project
projects. Mhm.
files.
And then go find it and drag it.
Yep.
Mhm.
So go back to the
To
folder
folder. Yeah.
on the left hand
Oh.
side. Yeah. And you got script on the scripts folder, not the the
This one
types
got
you already
dope.
used, so you can close that out. Yep, we
Mhm.
already used the types, so now we use scripts. So now what we're doing is we're giving it an example. Like this is the boilerplate
Mhm.
to use. This is the example to follow. All right, so just drag that over. Yep,
Yeah.
perfect. And so what it's doing now, you notice it's processing, right? So it's
Mhm.
uploading it and then it's also chunking it, which
Yeah.
means it's breaking it into pieces so that way the AI knows how to search through it.
Mhm.
Right. Now at this point, if you don't mind opening up your notepad, because I want you to actually, we're gonna work on constructing that system prompt also. And so what I like to do in my system prompt is I like to tell ChatGPT what each one of these files are for. And so
Good.
if you can just go ahead and well, you can stay on here. Let's just drop
Okay.
down a few lines because we can just copy from here. But let's go out of full screen mode.
Yeah, press F11.
Yeah. Or yeah, just drag down from the window, or F11, or like anything to just pop us out of
F11.
hit the
This one?
square in the middle.
This square, yeah. Just click.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really big.
then put your cursor right there between the plus sign and that and minus. Click and drag down.
Mhm. Okay.
I think
Click and
she was out of
double
full screen.
clicking.
Oh, there
yeah,
you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah.
Now
There
you
go.
can resize your window by putting your cursor on the edges of the window and it turn into an arrow. You can just drag in. Yeah, there you go. And now you can scoot it out, because what we want to do is
Totally out.
you can actually just throw it on the side of the window over there and make it side by side. Why don't you do that? Yeah, if you just
Drag
click it and drag
I
it
could
all
do
the
it
way
like
to the
this, or you don't want it like
you
that.
could do that
Okay.
too. You could do that too. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You could do that too. Do the same
Perfect.
thing. Now, drop down a couple lines and go ahead and just copy the first TypeScript file name. So horizon underscore core dot ds dot ts. Just
You mean literally
co-
copy it?
well,
No,
highlight it.
the
Yeah,
name.
highlight it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Copy that name. Now, okay, so come over, click into an empty area of that notepad doc. Okay, now, so for the system prompt, we're gonna say something like, in this project, we are only building Horizon Worlds scripts. Please, and then period, and then say, like I would put a period. Period. You got a comma. Yeah. Yeah. Space. Period. I mean space, and then say, please strictly use the following project files for TypeScript definitions for the Horizon Worlds API. And then put a colon, drop down a line, and drop it down another line, hyphen, paste the name you got, space, equal sign, yeah, space. This is the core Horizon Worlds API. Drop down a line, hyphen, go get the name of the next file. Space equals. This is the Horizon Worlds Agents API.
I would use NPC in that name too.
Okay.
So that because
Agents,
she's using NPC in her prompt, so it's going to tie those
right.
two together.
Gotcha. Good point.
NPC.
Mm-hmm.
NPC. NPC
Agent.
Slash agents. Yeah,
slash
put NPC
slash
agent,
agent.
slash
Yeah,
agents.
include both.
Yeah.
The only place these are called AI agents is like in the API.
Yeah.
Nobody else
Okay.
calls them
Yeah.
AI agents. Like it's funny.
Yeah.
Going to another line for the next one.
Agent API. API. And then next line, hyphen, go get the name. Equals. This is the Horizon Worlds user interface API. You could put like UI in parentheses after user interface.
Oh, I'll
That's
just put
fine.
it right down.
Yeah, that's
Later.
fine. Yeah.
Then the next
And
line.
then drop
another.
down, and then I would say the following project. I mean, now I would say in this file, and then you could just do another hyphen. It's just because of how I had said the paragraph above that, but you can just say grab.ts. This is a example. This is a functioning example.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want me to put it before this, or you want me to go ahead?
You could just go ahead and put it there. It'll be fine. Yeah. No. I meant like grab the file name
actual
first.
file name.
Yeah. We still need to. It's just that I was gonna. Originally, I was gonna give. Like normally, I give it more examples, but that's the only example we got. We might as well just go ahead and give it to it like right here instead of introducing the example files.
You said file
But normally,
name?
I give it a collection of the core, and then I give it a collection of example files. But yeah, just say this is a functioning example file. This is a functioning Horizon Worlds script.
Yeah, I looked at my system prompt is like 5,000 characters or something like that.
Oh wow!
I got a crazy system prompt.
Right. All right. So now you can cut. We can just use what we got right now. We can always iterate on it. But for right now, just go ahead and cut out that whole system prop. So everything from in this project all the way down to world's script on the last line. You can just
You can cut it or paste.
You can copy it. You can copy it. That way you still got it backed up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can hit the X on the project files. The project files. No.
I was
No
like, I
project
gotta
files.
say
Yeah.
that, right?
Like over there.
I was like, oh, I'm scared to do that.
Yeah. And then hit where
Add
it says add instructions. Yeah.
Paste them there.
Yep.
So now you're telling ChatGPT how to use the files that you just gave it, right?
Mhm.
So now you're giving it instructions on, okay, now you're not just giving it a bunch of TypeScript. It doesn't know how to use it. You gave it context, and then you gave it instructions on how to use the context.
Exactly. So now we're gonna. So first of all, we're gonna read your prompt and see if we need to clean it up a bit before we submit it. But even if we were to just take your prompt the way it is now and submit it, it would perform probably magnitudes better than it did just submitting it before, because now ChatGPT completely knows the whole context of your environment, what you're dealing with, like how to write the code, what the constraints are, and it even has an example of what would be properly written code. Big pause.
Usually at this point, where I would take usually people will come to me with ideas or something, and I'm gonna put together either just see what I'm getting myself into, just to kind of do some due diligence on it. Usually with this, I'll take whatever they give me verbatim and put it into a reasoning model like O3, and then just say, hey, I'm making a Horizon Worlds, world with this this type of game. Do me a favor, break this down into game mechanics that would need to be, because then what happens is because right now you typed it out in a way that makes sense to you,
right?
But you need it to make sense to a machine, which we don't speak the same language necessarily all the time. So the more clear instructions and clear cut black and white scenario you can lay out for it, the better it's going to respond. But no, I'll let that can be another step that we iterate on,
Yeah,
to see the difference.
definitely. No, that's a really good. Can you let's see? Hit your ChatGPT 4.0 up there, and let's change that. We see. Go ahead and choose 03. Yeah. Now go ahead and copy. Let's make this. Let's make this first. Let's make this first run instead of reading it and cleaning it up. Let's take Biggie Paul's idea, but let's start with let's start with we're using 03. Go ahead and copy your entire request over there. Your whole prompt. Yeah.
Just the top part. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole No, not the whole.
Just the top
Yeah,
part.
just copy that.
Yep. There you go.
And just now before you. So Biggie Paul's like to put his on the bottom. I put mine on the top, but you could either way it's fine. But go ahead and click where it says new chat in this project. Now, what I would do is I would hold shift down and hit enter a couple of times, and then paste. Now put your cursor up at the top, and then I would say the following is a project I would like to have scripted for Horizon Worlds. And then put a period and then space. Let's continue and say, please analyze the following request while considering your instructions and project files to provide so at this point you don't think we should we think we should ask for the script, Biggie Paul? You think we should just get the project overview?
Yeah, I would get a project overview for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Provide a project overview.
And I would even throw in there, do not generate code at this time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do not generate code at this time. Yeah.
Because what you want to see is an outline, right? You want to see a plan,
right?
And then if the plan is good, or then you can say, okay, now execute this plan,
right.
But we want to get one first,
and then submit it.
Yeah, send it through.
You got to hit the arrow. Yeah, you can hit the arrow. You can hit the arrow over there. Yeah. So you see, it's going to read your documents. You can blow this up full screen now. We no longer need that notepad over there.
And of course I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can close your chat history over there. You can close your sidebar. No.
Yeah.
There you go.
Already got it.
You don't have to worry. I would think about it before I do it anyway. I lost so much.
Not in mid generation too. Like, sheesh. Boss Leo. Greetings, by the way. Welcome.
Oh, I just came. I know I just came in, but I can't help but to add on.
Please do.
Yeah. Oh no. Uh-oh.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. You want to read it out about Wendy? You want to give it a read, or let's see, scroll up a little bit. What does it say above the table? Okay. Horizon Worlds multiplayer decision mini game.
Yep.
Scroll down, lobby, seating, player facing action. Up to 4 players walk in and sit at one of the 4 chairs. When they're all seated or after a timeout, the round begins. Attach a trigger gizmo or built-in seat gizmo to each chair. One player enter trigger, mark seat taken, store player, represent seat manager. Any seated player can press a scenario button or use the monitor UI to draw one of 20 pre-written cases So yeah, store 20 scenarios in a text asset. See, that's another thing. So like now you can
Mhm.
actually ask ChatGPT to generate those 20 scenarios for you,
Mhm.
unless you already have them, of course. But you know, based on this project spec, like you could take this project spec and then you could put it in the project knowledge. you know, so- but anyway, countdown bar. So, so first of all, the as you can see, like, so this is going to be a collection of scripts. This isn't just going
Yes.
to be like one big script, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
This is a collection of
So that
scripts. So we built.
happened.
Oh, what happened, Boss Leo? You
My headset died.
ah,
All right, guys.
hate it when
Oh,
that happens.
yeah, it does say every single time when I talk. No, I was going to say, this is pretty cool. More piggybacking off of Biggie Small, cause this is something that kind of helped me a lot, when I was trying to
Oh, you cut out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. But she's still talking.
Technology is not agreeing with her today.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? And I thought something was wrong with me.
It's trying to
Jeez.
silence Boss Leo.
Right.
Oh, right when
She's
she
got
about to
something
drop the
important to
knowledge too.
say. Right.
Yeah,
She got something very important
At
to
this
say.
Right.
point, we don't
there she
even,
is.
you know
There
what?
she
We didn't
is.
Just
hear
leave
any
it.
of that.
Leave
All
it
right,
where
now
it's
go
Yeah.
ahead.
at. I'm done.
It's AI. It's AI. AI was like, no, 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 no. I already did the work. No, no.
At this point, just leave it where it's at. Oh my goodness. I was just trying to say literally, with ChatGPT, with that scenario that you was talking about, I used it as the role of a product manager explaining to a game dev, to list
Smart.
out the
Mm-hmm.
mechanics and the use cases as requirements. Because when you think about scripting, and because I work with developers and engineers, the only way that they think is I's and O's, right? All they understand is use case and requirements. Like, can I add functionality to something? And so, from a product manager, the term is called product requirements document. I think that translates differently into the gaming industry, maybe a features document or a GDD or something like that. But really breaking down the scenarios and the use cases of what it should be. So it should say the functional, like the player should be able to do X, Y, and Z. And then kind of build that out. And I did listen to you guys' advice. I added that detail over into Windsurf, and it generated the scripts based off of that, including the stuff you told it to look into, like read this API, it should do that, and then had Windsurf to look into that and to build me a script, based on those particular use cases.
Mm. Man, that worked out for you, Boss Leo.
That's really good advice because
Yeah.
you're giving ChatGPT the role of. I mean, you would think about this if this was a full like company, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have that. You would have
You would
the
have that role.
concept,
That.
and
Mm-hmm.
then they have to explain
Mhm.
it to the engineers, and then
Mhm.
you're right. The
Right.
engineers don't necessarily understand the end user experience, right?
Right.
They're
And
just making things happen
mm-hmm.
based on the requirements that they're given. So we're trying to bridge that gap. So I think
Exactly.
that's actually a really good idea. Um,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is our first attempt using your thing, your prompt, and look at how detailed it got based off the
Mhm.
context that it got.
Right.
So
Yeah. You got all of these different. Like you almost got a roadmap. Like you know what to build
Mhm.
now. So okay. So let's pick a piece of this to actually be able to be. So first of all, like we're not gonna. We're probably not. We're not gonna build all of this right now.
Mhm.
But let's like which part of this would you like to start with?
Is it the setup or something like that? Or I'm not sure if that's in here.
Well, so
I mean, what would be the base? Doesn't it need to have a base script for all of this?
Well, so let's see. We could make the okay, ask a follow-up question. Say list each script I will need written for this project.
Yeah. Okay.
Detect players entering, leaving each chair, lock seats, fire all seated events, static array or JSON import of the 20 scenarios. Yeah, you got to do the scenarios. Authoritative finite state machine selects unused scenarios, drives timers, validates answers, broadcasts UE updates. Standalone timer class used by scenario manager. Builds updates the little monitor attached to each seat. Mirrors chair. Scroll down, please. Can you let me see your original prompt? Let me read your original prompt. You can just scroll all the way up to the top, please. All right, let me just read this whole thing. I select healthcare scenario.
Is
Right.
it too
Okay.
late for her to assign it a role? Like say, uh, you are a HR professional trying to create, you know, a world for students, to try to.
Well, the thing is that this is like what you're building here is like it's not complicated, but it's got
Yep.
a collection of moving parts here, and so
Exactly.
um, I mean it's kind of I mean it's a moderately moderate level of sophistication of a game, um, and
If
so
I'm
the
not
thing,
mistaken, this is the watered down version, right, Wendy?
Yep.
You had a
you had a
more
more
complicated
complex
version
one.
Yeah,
that
it
she
was
came
more
up
Wow.
that
complex. I
came to me
wanted it
with.
now.
And I
It was
told her,
not.
Okay.
I
I'm like,
told her,
this
I
is
said,
not
I just looked
simple.
at it. I didn't even do any due diligence. I just looked at it and read it. And I said, all right, I'm gonna let you know right now, like this is a beast of a
Yeah,
project
this
that
is a
you're trying
beast.
to start.
Yeah, this,
I would try to say take a smaller section of it and try to get that section completed.
yeah.
But I mean, even this is it's not complicated, but
It's
this
complex.
it's
It's
complex.
complex. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Diane, real quick, and then we'll get back over to you.
So one thing I'm concerned and I'm noticing is like it says they will need to come to a consensus. One person will need to provide the answer. After the assigned person provides the answer will appear. Where was the assigned person assigned? Because you said they had to come to a consensus. One person provide the answer, but that was never voted on. That I think if you clear up that language a little bit, it might take away extra script that you don't need.
Right.
Or it
Yeah.
might add one too, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to
That's
decide who the person is going to be or click on something.
But she
right.
had a turn manager. There's a turn manager in there, so
Yeah.
that would handle that part.
A
Turn
term
manager would
manager.
make someone
Yeah.
assigned automatically.
Well, that's what
You
that would be the
could.
function of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about we do this though, Wendy? Because you're trying to just like make something happen programmatically in Horizon Worlds, right?
Hmm.
You how about we start with something a little bit easier,
Okay.
and then okay, so go ahead and click. We're still going to be working on this project,
Hmm.
but let's leave this script here for like this chat here for a second. So just go back up a level, click where it says Horizon Worlds Healthcare Ethics Project. Right there Not that
The other
one,
one.
but yeah, yeah, right there, right behind. Yep, that'll bring us back out to your project, and then we can start another chat. So in this chat, how about we do something like, let's create a basic user interface that will have three healthcare questions and offer each question has a list of possible answers. Let's just do it,
Okay.
just three questions for now. Three questions. Each question has four answer options.
I do
Answer
A
multiple
options,
basic
choice.
right?
script that I can attach to my custom UI. A basic script that I could, yeah, that I can attach to my custom UI.
Okay, wait a minute. Create a basic script.
That I could, yeah, put behind that I can attach to my custom UI. That will have three healthcare ethics questions, and each question has four answers. Yeah, go ahead and put a period, and then say, please generate the questions and the answers along with the script. Put a period. Drop. I would drop down two lines, but so hold shift and hit enter twice, and then I would say something like, um, when the player answers incorrectly, do not allow them to answer again. Answer that question again. Give a total score when all questions are answered. And we can iterate on this, but let's just see what we get.
You got something else?
Nope.
Oh, thought you was gonna say
Unless
something else.
Biggie Paws or anybody want to add to it.
No, we'll just go with this. You're gonna see how slim down this is.
Hmm. Notice how it reads the documents each
Yeah.
time you have a chat. So it takes your project files and your system prompt into consideration each time you start a chat. Each time you have a chat, and like your whole conversations through the chat and everything.
I think one other thing too is, I know the NPCs are nice and they're flashy and they add, but they add a completely different level of complexity
Mm-hmm.
to your
Mm-hmm.
project. I think concentrating on the core mechanic, which is going to be the UI and the
Mm-hmm.
player interaction, is
Mm-hmm.
where you should be concentrating. And I probably should have been a little more should have been a little bit more detailed when you came to me the first time and say, should have said, hey, this is where you should, because if you get this core loop working, then you can add stuff to it
Mm-hmm.
to build it out to be bigger and grander,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know the NPC. Everybody wants to use NPCs, but I'm going to be honest with you, they're pretty boring.
They're pretty. They don't hardly
They're
do
pretty slim
anything.
down. They don't have
Yeah.
a lot of features to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an avatar that's either
They don't
standing
talk.
there
They
or
can't
walking. You
talk.
can't. They can't talk. No,
Oh no. Yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
no,
right.
they
No
can't
use.
talk.
Well, I have a quick
They.
question about the avatar. What
Mhm.
was this new update about the pose
Right.
gizmo that we can put an API? Is it really just we can now just telling them sit anywhere, or how's
Yes,
that working?
additional
Oh, we can
poses.
sit now.
Yeah, well,
They can sit the avatars now.
we can force them to sit.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
good.
via grip.
At
Via
least they
Is
can
grip.
sit
that
down now.
like, but is that just for the avatars, or can we use the API for players that come into the world?
I think it's players as well.
We can
I
force
haven't used
players
it.
to sit.
I haven't
Ooh.
used it, but I believe it's players as well.
We can force players to sit.
You have to. I
Oh, okay.
can't.
Listen to
Yeah, you have
him.
to
He's
check
a-
the.
That's
They
what
added
I'm
some code blocks.
assuming from the API. If you can put it, that's what
Be
I'm
dying.
assuming from the
Yeah.
Tell
API.
Sounds
them.
Like
violent. Sit down.
that's
You
what
Yeah,
they're
that'll be.
acting
kind
up
of. That's
now.
how they're kind of like. At least from what I heard, what I saw high level, it seemed like we can add that as an experience that a player, I guess, triggering events that'll make a player sit or something. I just haven't looked into it yet.
Okay. All right. So Wendy, go
Mhm.
ahead and let's copy that. You can hit the copy button right there, and then scroll. Just go ahead and scroll down so we can lay eyes on the whole thing. So you can see we got questions right here, and then everything. So scroll down. You can just keep scrolling. Let's get to the end of the script. Let's just see what the whole thing looks like, and let's see what ChatGPT said at the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know
Nice.
I'm gonna change
Okay.
some of these these
Oh yeah, of
questions.
course,
I don't like them.
of
Yeah.
course. But we just starting out. Yeah. So
Okay.
scroll down, but let's look at the how to use. So you see how ChatGPT also gave you a how to use all the way at the bottom,
Okay.
right here. It
Hmm.
says attach the script to a UI gizmo in your world. Set the panel size large enough. 500 by 600 pixels to hold the content. So just stretch out. But anyway, publish and test. But so let's go ahead and open up Windsurf. So no, so actually, before you open up Windsurf, let's open up Horizon Worlds, and then go ahead and create a new script. And this script is going to be quiz UI. Sure. Okay. And then open it up in Windsurf, and now Control A to select all. Delete. Paste. Control V. Save. Yeah, Control S to save. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now you see we've got errors. Scroll all the way up to the top. Let's go to the first error. So now we're going to start using Windsurf's Cascade. Let's find the first error. Scroll down.
Why
Let's look
can't we
for.
see? Why can't we see the bottom of her screen?
Yeah. Well,
I know it's
I
hidden
don't
from us.
know either.
I don't know. She's
Hit
like
hit
on.
hit F11.
Yeah, we don't see her.
There
Her.
it is.
There you go.
There
All
we
right,
go.
now in
Perfect. Yeah.
the bottom
God.
left, you have 10 errors. Right. You look at the
Mhm.
bottom. You see the count.
Mhm.
If you click on it, click on that.
Wait a minute. I'm
The
With
bottom
that
at the
left,
bottom
blue, that
left.
little blue thing, yeah, close
Yeah,
right
by.
right
there,
there.
where it says 10
Mhm.
errors. There's 10. There's a number
There's
10
10
right
of them
to
I
the
right
don't
right
there.
of it.
see it.
The
Oh,
number
It's
okay.
10
right
You
right
next
see the
to it.
beside
blue
it.
one?
That's
No.
right next.
Yeah,
Well, right
10
there.
right
Yeah.
beside
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Click on that. Now this gives you a list of all your errors.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So now
So
you can
so
click on each one and it'll jump to it. All
go
right.
to the
So
first
the
one.
first one.
Hover over that line right there where it say get, and then just click explain and fix. And so now Windsurf will go through fixing all your errors. What you got? 3.7 Sonic Thinking selected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hmm.
I'm probably scrolling too fast. That's what I mean. Sorry.
No, Cascades also scrolling.
I got rid of it.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Still doing.
It's probably not going to fix the next one. We're going to have to go to the next line after it stops. And then we're going to just do that for each one all the way
I've got
down.
3.
Just click it,
Yep.
and then explain and fix. So now you see we down to 9 errors over there. But it's going to, just go through. Now I understand how bindings work in Horizon Framework, looking at your code more carefully.
I done got
I've
another error, a new
I've
error.
I've
Yeah, well,
never
it's
gotten I've never gotten a derived binding to work. It tries to default to derived bindings, but
mm-hmm.
it's there we go. So the cool thing about Windsurf now is that once you give it a prompt, it's going to work through any errors that it creates.
Yes.
I think that's the end there.
Yeah, it's gonna accept. Yeah,
There you go.
accept all, and then go ahead and go to your next line, and then just
You want me
so
to
if you,
accept? Okay.
yeah, you can, yeah, hit accept all, click that one, and then hover over and do the same thing over derive, and that's the no, it's on no, not derive yet. Sorry, UE. It's the UE one. It's UE right there. UE node on line 87.
Okay.
Um, yeah, don't click, just hover. Don't click. Yeah, click off and then hover. Explain and fix. There's another derive right there on line 92 also. Yeah, most of my errors that I run into are dealing with bindings.
Right.
Yeah.
I still got to wrap my head around the whole UI thing. I don't know. I
Mm.
can build them. I just don't understand them exactly.
Mhm.
Looks like I got rid of because you had two of
Yep.
those type of errors, so it fixed those.
Yep. Just fix them. Accept all, go to the next one, do the same thing. It actually you just hover over derive because that's on 93. That's the next one. Explain and fix. Bam. We're down to 5 errors left.
Cut them in half.
Yep. And accept all once it pop up. Do the next one. I'm not going. I'm not going to tell you the rest of these. I want you to do them on your own because you got to practice. You
Ooh,
got your.
this one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So it's that under the squiggly line thing that you. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you
The
know you got.
squiggly lines let you
Mm.
know it's an error right there. Diane.
How come we didn't just hit that send to Cascade button right there and it would send it all? Is it because we want to see it think, even though I don't know what the heck is? I wouldn't know what it was telling me.
First, so send the 5 errors to Cascade. I don't know. I mean,
I would.
maybe it would do it, but it
eh,
it probably run into problems.
I personally do it when I'm working, but that's because I can recognize when something's going off the rails.
Right.
Right. So if you don't know really what you're doing with TypeScript, I would try to do them one by one because again, this becomes a educational tool. Because now you can when you start seeing binding errors, you can almost
Yeah,
know
you're
how to
gonna
fix it.
learn what you're gonna learn your code base by doing it this way. Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I never just hit the chunk. And plus, I always just think that my chances of it causing more trouble or getting going off the rails or getting hung up or anything are fewer if I do it one by one than just sending a bunch of them to them because that number can be infinitely large. Like you can have 50 errors in there and then you're going to send 50 errors to Cascade. And like, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it will go through and it will go
Yeah,
through and it
it'll
will
go
fix
through
them
them.
and it'll agentically go through each one.
Wow. Okay.
But the problem is if you got 10 errors, you don't know what the errors are, you don't know what the solution should be, and you're just sending it off. Now the agent may draw a pattern between those those errors and then completely rewrite your
Rewrite the
code,
whole script.
the
Yep.
whole script,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're stuck with something that doesn't even
Something
do what you
different.
want that you don't even want it to do.
I've
It's
had it
happened to me. It's
I've
happened to
had
me
it
plenty
happen,
of
and
times.
I've had it happen when I was building a plugin for WordPress. And the problem is that I've got all these different directories and all these different files. It
Mhm.
ran off into directories I wasn't even paying attention to,
Right.
rewriting stuff
Right.
Mm.
because it felt like that was best. Completely broke my whole plugin.
Oh.
Luckily, I take backups.
Oh.
I take backups with each iteration, and I was able to revert back. But my God, I was just
Tell
Now,
you
what I will do, Diane, what I would recommend is if you have a few of the same type of error, I would control click on each one, copy
yeah,
those, and then paste it into Cascade and have
yeah,
it fix all three at the same time because they're the same issue.
they're the same
Right.
issue.
So
Yeah,
that would be where it's beneficial. Um, or if it's two errors, yeah, I'll send the whole thing to Cascade.
mm,
I don't really mind. But yeah, 10 errors and above, I would be very careful because you could
yeah,
end up with something that doesn't even remotely look like what you were trying to build.
yeah.
And then again,
Cascade will.
you don't know what the problem is. You might think that you might spend time troubleshooting a problem that wasn't even a problem. The
Wasn't
code
even
itself is
right.
solid, but because the AI agent decided to rewrite everything, you just created a bunch more work for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
All right, there we go.
Ooh, we are error free. Except
That's
all. Go back over to Horizon Worlds.
oh boy.
all right.
You said
Hit
alt
F11
tab.
because
Oh,
you're still full
F11.
screen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
You got an extra wide monitor.
Yes, I do.
That's why. Okay, that's
Yeah.
why
An
it doesn't
inch.
look good
Yeah.
for us. All right.
Okay, so what we need to do now is, yeah, you can close that out for now and go ahead and hit build. We need to grab a UI, a custom UI. Go ahead, go to your gizmos, scroll down, drag a custom
Custom.
UI up there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, me personally, I like to sit them in the middle of the floor when I first bring them out because I can't tell where the front is. You got to hit your crosshair
I would
tool.
do a rotation 180 on the Y because when it comes out facing away from you.
Okay.
So I would do
I
do
always just go
180.
just bring it up, put it in the middle of the floor, bring up. But
Hit enter.
yeah, hit enter. But you can bring it up. Yeah, hit and yeah, and then bring it up by clicking on the green and just scooting it up. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Now, go ahead and give it a name. Let's just call it like quiz UI. And then scroll down to attach a script after you do that. And then you're going to attach the quiz UI. Bam, scroll down. Now, go ahead and hit your world sim button. So it currently says world sim off. Yeah, world. There you
There
go.
it
Let's
is.
scroll in. Look at it.
Yay.
So if
Put
you
it up
press,
against a wall or on your
look at that.
TV or something.
Like yeah, TV because it's black. Oh.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it does. So
I
you
can't
can
see it.
you well you can
I like
if you would
big
have did it in
stuff.
the middle, it would scale proportionately.
It would have.
Hit Control Z. Yeah, hit Control Z. And now you see the gray little box in the middle. The little right.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one
Okay.
will make it scale
Yeah, but I
proportionately.
can't. Okay.
You're
See it?
not you got to go behind that one.
This one right
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And okay.
She already changed it though.
I
Yeah.
can go back.
Yeah, hit Control Z twice.
Is that where I
There you
started
go.
at?
Mm-hmm. There you go. And then also when you get up on it, when the player get up on it, it'll zoom some more. But yeah, turn the crosshairs, scoot it back to your TV. And then you can have the script, you can have Cascade. What I would do, since you don't need it so long,
Mm-hmm.
let's go iterate on this. Let's go to Cascade, and we can tell Cascade to hide the other questions until, well first, before we do that, let's just test it first and make sure it works. Let's test what we got before we so yeah, go ahead and just,
Press
and then
E.
yeah, press E.
Where did I go?
You went up
Uh,
to it.
Now you can click on it. It's
Yeah.
I just
interactive
clicked
now.
something. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
yeah, you
what
gotta,
else?
Might want to put a scroll, like a scroller on there.
yeah, put a scroller or hide it and hide the questions until the answer is given. But you would have to put this on the wall in
Yep.
order to see it long,
Yep.
because you can't scroll. But okay, let's just come out.
Press E again.
Yeah, press it
Oh,
again.
Oh, that works too.
well, I just
Yeah.
learned something new.
All
Do
right. So
E. Get out.
so you can go ahead and turn your world sim on. I like working with my world sim on because after Cascade makes some changes, like the changes
I need to
automatically
get rid of
appear.
this one then.
Okay. Well, you
I,
can.
I was gonna get rid of her.
Oh,
NCP.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to Windsurf. Now, here's the thing. First of all, you got this script and it works. If I
Mhm.
was you, I would back that up by copying it and putting it like on a text pad. And then that way you just got it, because you can revert back to this if you need to. You got a functioning script here. So just put your cursor in there, hit Control A, select all, and then Control C to copy. Open up a